have everything put back together. I'll show more of the engine once I get it cleaned up. Right now, I was trying to start it up, and fuel pump was priming. I was getting spark, but it would only start on starting fluid alone and just run for, you know, a split second. And I was trying to figure out what was going on, so I took off the fuel line, and I wasn't getting any fuel at all. There was not one drop of fuel inside the any lines. So I thought that was strange because I could hear the fuel pump priming really well. I put a brand new Walbro fuel pump in. So just out of a hunch, I took this out first thing, and I wired it backwards. There's only 2 wires, but I thought on the S14 the power wire for the pump is what color is this? Power wire is actually solid red. I thought that was ground. It's not. The red with yellow stripe is your ground wire, and the solid red is your positive wire, your power wire. So I'm gonna swap these around, put the fuel pump back in, and this car should fire up now. Let's see how it goes. Oh yeah, side note, if you wire it backwards, your fuel pump will still prime. You'll hear it spinning, but it spins backwards, so that's why you don't get any fuel actually into the rail and the lines. Alright, let's do this. So we have our fuel pump wiring harness wired the right way. Such a simple, dumb mistake will obviously cause your car not to start. I thought the red with yellow stripe was power, because on the outside body harness, the black with yellow stripe is power wire actually for the pigtail. So I should have looked it up, but I just kind of assumed that that's the way it went, which is dumb because obviously in wiring you can't always just color code because it's not always the same. So word to the wise, double check your wiring, because you're going to be doing this crap over again, and obviously kills time. So let's put this back in. Okay, so we got the fuel pump wired, we got that line put back on, and side note, I am going to hardwire the fuel pump wiring and put this relay in there, but for the sake of just getting this car started right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. And actually, once I get started, I still have to take the car to alignment shop, because I did rear subframe bushings and some other things to the suspension this time. So before you start your car, which I already did previously off camera, prime your engine. You just disconnect your distributor and the fuel pump, either the wiring, or disconnect the fuse under this kick panel, the driver's side kick panel, and then just crank the engine until you, if you have an oil pressure gauge, you can see it going up a little bit. You just want to keep rotating it to recirculate fresh oil throughout the whole engine, because it's rebuilt and it's also just been sitting. So I already primed it, so I'm actually going to prime the fuel pump a few times just to get fuel in the rail, because it was completely empty. I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but you can hear that Walbro priming like crazy. So let's go ahead and try to start it actually. And of course, this car has been sitting for a long ass time, since November, so the battery is dead. So let's jump it. Prime, we're gonna fire it up. Let's go. Pretty sure my dizzy timing's off. When I was having that issue with it not getting fuel, I messed with the distributor thinking it was timing, so I'm gonna have to retime it because my base timing's off now. But let's just let it idle. That's awesome, we got some good oil pressure right there. Fired up, idle's great, but I shut it off because I guess I didn't tighten that line all the way because filter is leaking like crazy. Fuel filter.